Hey everybody. Hey, this week we are talking about poetry. Specifically, we're talking about the poetic books in the Bible. The poetic books come after the historical books, and those are Job, Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes. These are poetry books because they are full of, you guessed it, poetry. Books like, think of Psalms. What is Psalms a book of? Psalms is a book of psalms. It's actually songs, ancient songs that they used to sing. Now those poetry books, we might not always see the poetry in it, right? You think of poetry, you think of a song, and we read Psalms, and we don't have the music to go with it. And if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, you might say this doesn't seem like a poem. Why is that? Well, that's because it wasn't originally written in English. In fact, these poetry books were originally written in Hebrew. And so a lot of the rhyming and such that we would gain from reading it in Hebrew is lost once we translate it into English. If we say in English, you think of a poem, roses are red, violets are blue, right? Those things have that flow to it. But if you translate that to Spanish or to French, it might not sound the same. And it might not sound like a poem anymore. But these books are very poetic. They have lines and they have verses and they flow together. And they sound really beautiful if spoken in their original language. You know why the Bible uses poetry? Because poetry and music influence our emotions. You may not realize this yet, but music very much can influence your emotions. That's why there are so many songs written about love, because when we hear a love song, we get emotions that make us feel like we want love and we want to love. And if there's a song that's really angry, it can make us angry and upset. Or if there's a song that's really sad, I remember driving home from college sometimes, and a sad song would come on the radio, and it would just, it would hit you, and you'd just be very emotional. You'd well up and feel sad. Music and poetry have a way of speaking to our hearts. That's why the Bible tells us often to sing songs of praise, sing spiritual songs, sing them when we're alone, sing them together, sing them with each other, sing them to each other. Because the Bible knows that songs can affect our emotions. And we ought to do things that affect our emotions for the better. That point us, as everything else should, point us to Jesus Christ. So make sure this week that you listen to a song, listen to a Christian song or a spiritual song that's going to uplift you and that's going to focus you and bring your mind and your heart closer with the Lord. Do that this week. Make sure you watch the Buck Denver videos as we talk about Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. They're wonderful, wonderful books. Books of poems and books of songs. Focused on bringing our hearts and our minds back into communion, into following the one who loves us the most. Have a wonderful week. Until next time. Love ya.